analytics company, and today we will be speaking about process mining and how to improve business processes utilizing data and analytics. And as this is the last presentation before actually breakouts, also the slides are very simple and includes nice landscape pictures so that you can enjoy before going to the breakout rooms. First of all, let's speak about do you know and do you map your processes in your companies? Do you know process modeling? How many of you mapping the processes? How they should be doing the process? So what is process mining is actually then the digital twin or the actual execution of the processes within the organization. And how at Konecranes process mining journey started? It always starts with the strategy. Konecranes released a strategy where the key topics were operational excellence, simplification, digitalization, and best customer experience. The question is that how do you realize this strategy? How do you bridge the gap where you actually are at the moment and where you want to be, and what it actually means, the simplification or operational excellence? That's where the process mining comes into play. And when it works, process mining works when you have millions or thousands of the transactions in order to understand how actually your processes run. Let's say if you're a small company of maybe 200 or 100 employees, it's easy just to go, and as you know, maybe value stream mapping, just ask what kind of steps you are doing, and then measure the case, ask how long does it take. When you're in a big corporation with 50,000 or 1,000 employees, it becomes very difficult to understand how hundreds or tens of locations actually perform the process. So that's where the process mining is very much useful to understand that what is the actual process performance, and that's how typically the processes look. This is a real process of order to cash, and if you bring all the locations that are performing the process and all the transactions, it's very complex. There are a lot of inefficiencies within the process, like rework, loops back, additional steps, changes, and process mining brings it into play and visualizes how the actual process is executed. And what is the difference between the value stream mapping and the subjective-based opinions is that it is based on the data, it's very factual-based, and it uses thousands or millions of transactions to visualize the process, something that you can't really do by just asking the questions from the people or trying to visualize. Typically also when you use the value stream mapping or you interview the people to understand how processes work, they typically tend to tell you how they think it should work, right? They won't say you that, yeah, we're going back and forth, we're doing rework here and there, it's not very efficient. They will tell you exactly what you are doing in the process modeling, how it should be done, the work. When process mining brings you visibility, how it is actually working. And what you can get from the process mining, in general, there are plenty of use cases for the process mining. So starting with the typical ones. So here on the right side, you can see this is simplified process, and that's what you try to achieve, right? From this spaghetti diagram, you try to streamline your process and make it as efficient as possible. And with process mining, you can see what are the main steps performed in the process, what are the lead times, what are the additional steps there are in the process, and also now it's on the picture not visible, but you also can see, is this manual activity, is it automated activity, is it done by robot, is it let's say background automation of the SAP system or CRM system. So it also brings the visibility of actually how the activity is done. At the same time, when you think about this kind of analysis of the actual process, you're thinking that what about the data privacy, right? Because this is event log data. How can you analyze what actually happens in the process? So a good thing about the process mining, you don't need to have the personal data. You're analyzing the process performance, and you're analyzing thousands and millions of transactions. To be honest, it doesn't really matter who did this activity. What matters on the global scale to see where the inefficiencies are actually in the process, so you can de-anonymize the data. And how the process mining actually works, so where this event log data is coming from, you're asking. If you all use mobile phones and you open application and you do some steps in the applications, it leaves the traces, right? What you have done, what exactly you have clicked, how many minutes it took between the different clicks. So process mining exactly works on this event log data that is stored in the IT systems. Almost all the biggest IT systems stores this event log data, like CRM, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, Workday. And that's what process mining works. It extracts this data from the IT systems and visualizes the end-to-end processes. And also, it doesn't matter if you have several IT systems, it works as well. You can connect end-to-end process utilizing the CRM system and also ERP system. And understand that how actually end-to-end process works and where the biggest inefficiencies are. Then the question is that how you get started with the process mining. I have been myself building this capability of process mining in two large corporations in Finland, Kone and Konecranes. And always it starts with the question that what you are trying to achieve in the process. It is difficult questions, not always you have an answer for that, because it's typically good to start with some purpose for the process improvement. What you are trying to optimize. Is it on time delivery? Is it productivity? If you have it, it is much more successful when you start process mining. If you don't have it, you also can discover the inefficiencies just based on the process mining. So typical areas where you are looking, okay? You want to improve the working capital or on-time delivery, or shorter lead times, or productivity improvement, or rework reduction. So these are the typical use cases where you can start with the process mining. And of course, you need to know which process you are going to mine. And typical processes where companies are starting are order management. So the processes where you start with process mining should be high transactional, and better if they are more standardized. Like there is one agreed way of doing it. Let's say if it's research or product development, it's not very good process to start with because it's high variation, but order management, accounts payable, accounts receivable, procurement processes are very good for mining. And once you decided with the process, you need to involve the right people in process mining and to start the implementation. This involves both the business experts and then the data experts. So data experts means the data engineers who will do the actual technical data engineering work to bring this process flow. So it's not exactly automatically coming up. So you need to have the data engineers. Then you need to have the source system experts, of course, to know what kind of data and where it is stored. At the same time, I think with the process mining tools nowadays, to the biggest system, they provide the automatic data scripts because a majority of the processes, let's say SAP processes, procurement, they are quite similar. And the areas where you look in the process mining are also quite similar between the companies. Maybe 30% is something that you usually customize. Of course, if you have great process owners, that are the owners who will provide the input about what should be measured in the process, and who are helping the businesses to improve the ways of working. And then the business owners should be also involved, because that typically the process owners are not the ones that can have impact on how to actually run the processes in the organization. So these three type of stakeholders is very important to involve in the process mining. Then the next question comes once you define that what you want to achieve, what process you mine, then who you should involve. The next one is what you can discover. So when you start mining, let's say order management, this is actually order management process simplified. If you didn't have any goal, let's say you wanted, typically when you start the process mining, you just, okay, I want to see how actually processes run in my company and what I can discover, what kind of inefficiencies my process has. That's quite typical how you start the process mining. Then you get the first visual end-to-end process. This is very simplified. You will have much more activities than that. And then you can observe some immediate inefficiencies in this simplified process. In this case, for instance, this example, as you can see, create sales order line is 1 million of transactions. Let's say it's 1 year of data that you are typically looking for. So as you can understand, this is algorithm that visualizes based on many, many transactions. And then the lead times that are here, you see 36 hours, 22 hours, those are averages. Or you can also look at the median across this 1 year, but you can also select maybe a shorter time period as you wish. But what are the areas that you can immediately see in this kind of process that should be improved? Very typical use case is changes, unnecessary changes. Change price, change shipping type, change delivery date. This happens, I think, in most of the companies. Unnecessary manual changes that are hindering the productivity within the organization. Then the second case that, or use case that typically we're working on is this long lead times. So you can understand where exactly in the process are the longest lead times and then prioritize those areas. So this is the beauty of the process mining, that you might have a feeling where the things are not working out, but this is not always the case. This is a data-driven approach, so you can understand, see immediately, okay, in this part of the process, this doesn't actually work, and the lead times are much longer than should be in that part of process. And then there are many other use cases. For instance, one is very common in the companies, undelivered invoices. Everyone is telling that, okay, we are not, it cannot be that we are not delivering the invoices to our customers. Typically, that's the case. Another, also in the invoices, in the procure to pay, that you pay double to the suppliers. That also quite often happens, and very good for the process mining to see how often actually and how much money you're losing in not delivering invoices or paying double. So this is what process mining can bring, and there are many more use cases, but you have to prioritize where you actually focus on the improvement, and that happens once you start discovering. Then you pinpoint, okay, I would like to focus on the changes, productivity, or reducing the lead times, or then reducing undelivered invoices. Once you decided that, okay, now I'm focusing on the invoicing topics, the next question is, okay, I see that we are not delivering the invoices. What is the root cause? What should we do? And how process mining works here, that it helps you to analyze, it's called dimensions, that where this problem happens the most. It's the next level of detail. in which company code, so which organization, which plant maybe have this problem, what is the material, so it's called the dimensions, and it helps you to prioritize which company codes having the biggest problem, which materials might have this problem with the invoices. So to help you to try to identify what is common attributes in those areas where the invoicing is not working. For example, here is the longest lead times for the invoicing. With this, you start to identify already where it's not working, where you should focus on, which plant you should actually go and work together to analyze either in more detail what is happening. Typically, process mining not yet in that stage where you can get your answers, plug, and then it shows you all the root causes and also the solutions. It's always a combination between the data and the experts. And when I have been deploying this process mining and working with the global process owners, what is the beauty of this? Once you come with the data and then you show that there is a problem, everyone is very collaborative to work to solve this problem, and no need to argue, is that a problem? Is that a big problem? So you can quantify very easy with the process mining. And that helps everyone to focus on the real root causes and the solutions. And that's what process mining is for. Once you identified the root causes, this is the hardest part. What are the actions to remove the issues? And typically that's where you why it's always important to include the business stakeholders beforehand, because a lot of people are eager to start the process mining, but eagerness fades away once you start to speak that how we can improve the process and where should we focus. That's where the business stakeholders and the accountability, the development managers need to be then focusing together to work. Is this automation? Is it training? Is it master data updates? That based on the data and these discussions, collaborations with the business, then you define together what are the actions to be deployed, and then agree on the actions for the biggest issues that you have discovered. And finally, once you discovered and you agreed on the actions and the deployment starts, that's not where the process mining ends, right? Because as you know, you're deploying a lot of changes, that it's actually very difficult to sustain the changes, and you need to monitor that if you defined that you are improving the invoicing, that you are following up, has it been improved? And that's process mining. Typically, you get updated data on a daily basis, or even you can have it every 15 minutes. So it's very important that during the project that you monitor that it is progressing in the right direction. And here's very simple. And also with the process mining, you can do that. You just set up simple KPI, what you're trying to improve, and then you follow up it day by day and month by month. So very simple. And part of the process mining as well. So to summarize, with the process mining journey, data-driven approach to the process development always starts with aim, trying to understand which process and what approximately the area, what's the ambition levels, lead time, on-time delivery, productivity that you are trying to improve, but not necessarily, okay, if there is no aim, at least curiosity to improve and find the efficiency improvement is enough. Then involving 3 parties, data, process owners, and business experts. Start process mining, discover inefficiencies, look where should the process be improved, where the biggest, quantify the issues, understand where to focus on. There will be plenty of options where to focus. Root causes, actions, and then measure the progress. That's all. And thank you so much for listening, and happy to connect and continue discussion about process mining. We actually now start the breakout session, so we can continue. But if you have immediate questions, I'm happy to answer. No questions. Then let's go to the breakout sessions. I'm